Hello everyone. Welcome to downtown Glendale. Are you ready to have a doggone good time in downtown Glendale tonight? Well, downtown Glendale is going to the dogs, and we are thrilled to see you out here tonight for our second annual Dog Days of Summer, and we brought the heat, didn't we? But we promise to have a fun night for you tonight. We have a fun program here for about 30 minutes, all about the Glendale Fire Department and the Glendale Crisis Response Team. You'll be learning lots about pet safety, drop and roll safety, and just all sorts of fun tips. And then when we're done here, I'll be coming back on to tell you a little bit more about the night. That includes lots of Frosty Pod treats, cool water stations, and a pet parade over to the visitor center. And I see lots of our four-legged friends are all decked out for their big night in the downtown. So welcome, we're thrilled to have you. It is my true pleasure and honor to introduce Chief Pompa from the Glendale Fire Department, who's going to kick off the night for us. Chief Pompa.
Boy. Hi, good evening. Thank you all so very much for coming out to the second annual Dog Days of Summer. And like Lorraine was saying, boy, did we bring the heat, and that's for sure. It's a thrill to see so many people participating in this event, and it continues to grow from last year to this year. And it's really phenomenal to see so many people with their pets, which are our family members, to come out to this event. And what I'd like to do is talk to you a little bit about the crisis response team as it relates to the Glendale Fire Department, a little bit of some of the things that our volunteers do for the crisis team. And this program started about 8 years ago, and it started out with a small group of volunteers that when we saw a need as firefighters, we respond to a tremendous amount of calls, about 40,000 calls a year, of which a significant amount of them have to do with a lot of crises, whether it's a fire-related incident, whether it's a family member, a drowning, a car accident. And unfortunately, the tragic side of working in the fire service, there's a lot of death that we get to witness, not only as firefighters, but one of the needs that we identified that we weren't fulfilling as firefighters was trying to do the full service fire department delivery of trying to put professionals to deal with a tragedy after the firefighters had left. And say, for example, something like a drowning. When a child has fallen in a pool, a lot of times we picked up that child, we went directly to the hospital, and we didn't have anybody to deal with the family members. When you have mom, dad, grandparents, brothers, and sisters who all were a part of this event, who all witnessed exactly what happened, and when they are in some sort of a crisis, we identified that a crisis team was exactly what we needed. So we built, designed, recruited, and trained about 80 to 100 crisis response volunteers, which now have 2 crisis vans that report directly to the Glendale Fire Department. But they're a regional system. They're part of the process in the entire valley. They respond on everything from car accidents, the tragic side of the fire service is the shootings, the heart attacks. One of our units right now is on what we call a code, and that's up in the North Peoria part of the city. And our volunteers go through an extensive amount of training, but to get back to what the basic philosophy of the crisis team is, it's compassionate people, compassionate volunteers, having that enthusiasm and that need to come back and serve their community in one way or another. And in this case, the Glendale Fire Department has been the beneficiary of these volunteers and the work that they continue to do. And part of the process that has made the crisis team so successful is the relationships that we have with many partners throughout not just the city of Glendale, but regionally. And one of them is Papa Ed's and Linda Whitley from Papa Ed's Ice Cream, which I'd like to give a round of applause to right now. Linda, thank you so very much. And it's partnerships like that and that allow the crisis team to continue to operate, because it's not a well-funded program, so it demands some private, some donation money, and because of donations like from Linda and other corporations and partnerships that we have in the valley, that crisis team is able to do the things that they do. So on behalf of the fire chief, Mark Burdick, we certainly would like to welcome all of you again tonight. Thank you so very much for your participation. And the crisis response volunteers, it's a program that is open. If any of you feel like you have an opportunity that's something that you would like to do and serve on the crisis team, we certainly would welcome your application. Come on in, talk to the folks, and we certainly would like to see you as part of the team as well. On behalf of the firefighters throughout not just the city of Glendale, but the many other departments that benefit because of the crisis team, there's 24 cities in the Valley system, but we also have the crisis team that serves not just the city of Glendale, but a tremendous number of agencies throughout the West Valley. So again, to our volunteers, compassionate group, professional individuals, thank you so very much for work that you do. And again, Linda, thank you so very much for your generous donation. And our crisis response volunteers, thank you from the bottom of their heart. Thank you very much. Finally, as you can see, I have a little friend next to me. This is Topaz, the Glendale Fire crisis dog. Glendale Fire Department was the first fire department across the nation to have a crisis intervention response dog. Now, many of you may think, well, we see a lot of those on TV. We see a lot of service dogs, service animals that operate in hospitals. Topaz is specifically trained to deal with children and large type events. And he's been used and utilized in many type incidents. And the majority of them have to do with a lot of multi-casualty type incidents. And he's a spectacular dog. He's been with us for about 18 months. And he's a yellow lab, born and raised in Michigan, so well-behaved. Topaz, stand. Come on. Up. Attaboy. Sit. Down. All the way. Good boy. So he's about as well-behaved as a firefighter can be. So he's one of the family, and we're truly happy to have him here. So I'd like to transition now to Dr. Janet Boberg, who's going to come in. He's got a dog named Gizmo. My understanding is Gizmo not only does juggling, he does magic acts and stops, drops, and rolls. Everything short of trying to teach kids everything about fire safety. So please welcome Dr. Janet Boberg.
Well, good evening, and thank you all for attending this event. As Chief Pompa said, I'm Dr. Janet Boberg, and I have my pet dog here. She's a corgi, a cardigan corgi, and her name is Gizzy. And what we try to do with Gizzy is we take her to the preschools, and we try to teach her, through the kids, how to stop, drop, and roll. And the premise of stop, drop, and roll is, what do you do if your clothes catch on fire? And what we want you to do is we want you to stop in your tracks, we want you to drop to the ground, and we want you to roll. And so what we hope to do tonight is we hope to teach Gizzy how to do that. So I'm going to need your help, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to yell stop, and then we're going to have to yell drop, and then we're going to have to yell roll to see if we can get Gizzy to do that as if she was caught on fire. So let's see if we can teach her how to do that to be fire safe, okay? But I'm going to need your help. Tell her to stop. Stop. Tell her to drop. Stop. We tell her to roll. using her as a tool because she's so short to the ground, she's not intimidating, and then they do it, and she does it, and they do it, and it seems to work out really well in teaching them fire safety. They don't remember me when I go into the room, but they remember her because she taught them how to stop, drop, and roll. And I want to thank you guys for indulging me and Gizzy. And next I would like to introduce Carla Houston from the Community Crisis Response Team to come out and talk more about Topaz, the Crisis Response Team, and I believe Fido bags.
I only do this because I love the CR program and our firefighters and this city. And I don't even live in this city, but I beg to come over here and work here. I just see two of our volunteers over here got back from vacation. Welcome back. We're talking a little bit. I think every dog owner probably knows how to keep the dog safe in the heat. And I see people fanning the dogs and fanning themselves and then fanning the dogs. So you tell me, we're going to fan the dogs, we're going to keep them cool. Are we going to leave them in the car? No, not even with the air conditioner running, right? Because something could happen. They steal babies in the car with the air conditioning running. They might steal your dog, you know. How about on the hot sidewalk? What are you going to do? Put shoes on them, pick them up. Yeah, I want you to pick that black one up right there. Pick them up, or maybe wait till it's cooler too. And they can stand a little bit more heat than us, but just get down and touch the cement or that. And if this is hot to your hand, let's keep the dogs off of it. How about hydration? Lots and lots of water. And I worry because Riley, my little girl, come on, Diane, let her go. Come here, Riley. This is Miss Tiara O'Reilly, and it's Riley for short. She doesn't stop, lay down, and roll over, but I'm going to try it. And she loves the pool. She loves to drink water when she feels like it, but she doesn't drink enough water when we're out here. I did find out that putting ice cubes in it today led her right to it, so I'm going to start trying that and bring it in a jug with the ice in it. So the other thing I want to tell you about, and I don't know if you knew this, but and actually it was a Welsh Gorky, I think, and my husband or my daughter's employer just let the dog go out like he usually did 2 days ago, went in the backyard, laid down, and absolutely was dehydrated. He was only out there 15 minutes. He's only 3 years old. So this son, and he just, I don't know whether he didn't drink enough, whether it was a normal routine, he just laid down and so the heat, and the doctor said it was the heat. He stayed, you know, alive, and they tried to do IVs with him and everything, and they had to bury him today. So this is very sad, and we just don't know what the heat's going to do. So be very, very, very careful. Watch the dogs on the side of the road, you know, and maybe scoot them down to, you know, if they're, you know, abandoned or whatever. We know we can take them to Sun Valley, and just do what you can for that. And Linda, did you want to come out? I have to tell you really quick, for those of you who do not know Miss Linda Whitley, she was here participating in Glendale when she still had a full-time job, opening up Papa Ed's. We met after the first, was it 4 years ago? After the first bear, you know, the Bears and More Teddy Bear Day. And we met, and we kind of adopted each other really quickly. She had no idea who we are. She read about us in the crisis response unit in the paper, in your Glendale paper, and she just knew it sounded like a good idea. And so she put a jar out and collected money from her tips. So to this day, Linda actually does that. I'm going to let her tell you that. But we struck up a friendship right away, and she has a lot of patience with me, and that's probably why we're still friends. Here's Linda Whitley from Papa Ed's.
Thank you. Thank all of you for coming tonight. I know it's hot out, and it's hard to keep cool and keep your four-legged friends cool, but we really appreciate you coming out and celebrating them. We wanted you to have an opportunity to meet the crisis response team because they are everywhere, under the radar, doing so many things that benefit our community. And I just want you to know who they are. They're volunteers. So these people are doing this of their own time, and they do that because they care about other people. And as Carla said, we struck up a friendship. It was like instantaneously. I knew that once Papa Ed's ice cream was rolling, we were going to be a part of something to benefit them. So each year we make an annual contribution. Sometimes Topaz shows up to collect the check, sometimes Carla does, but something really extraordinary happened this year. Since January through the end of July, we have collected $430, which is an all-time high amount, more than we've ever been able to give to them in one entire year. So we decided that this was a sign of how much the community and my customers all care about the work that the crisis response team does. And I think it's a great way to say that. So I'm going to present this donation today to Wojo, Chuck Wojo, who is our Volunteer of the Year from the Crisis Response Team. So I'd like to introduce him. It's with my proud pleasure to donate to your team $430. And that's only for the first 7 months of the year. So we still have 5 more months to collect a lot more money. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Get it, Betty. We have another one.
Smile, Chucky. I hear somebody. I can't see. All right.
Please do, and you can introduce.
Yeah. I want to thank Papa Ed's for the donation to the crisis response. It will go to good use. I also want to make a spiel for you people. I've been a member of the crisis response for over 3 years now. I retired, and I thought, well, I need to do something so I sit around the house. And I got connected to the crisis response, and it's been really enjoyable. We could use volunteers. They try to keep. We have 2 vans, and we try to keep at least one up 24 hours, and we respond to most all calls the fire department goes on, and to assist the families while the engine has to get back in service. And sometimes the calls are kind of tough, but you sure get a good feeling after you manage to help people in their most crisis time in their lives, and it feels good, and it does good to the community. So they try to get 24 hours a month in, and that's not too bad. It's real easy. Families, I have my wife. We're team members. We don't get to go on exclusively together, so we share. We go out with other people, and it's a good deal. It's a little hard work, and it takes some training, but if you really would like to help, we could always appreciate it. And the more people that assist the community, the better the community is for all of us. So anyway, I'd just like you guys to think about it or look into it a little bit, and don't be scared of it, because it's really not hard. You never go out alone. You're always out with a team member. And when you first start up, it's always a trained member. You're always connected to the alarm room by radio. So if you feel, it's comforting that you can get response if you need additional help real quick. So if you have any inkling, would sure appreciate your help. Okay, thanks. And thanks for coming today.
Don't leave the stage. Just go ahead and introduce. Come on, Jen. Angela? Dennis and Gwen? Do we have any other CR volunteers in the audience that I have missed? All of a sudden they show up, and I think that's wonderful. Sarah? Diane? These are some of our CR volunteers. We did have CR 158 coming too, and they got dispatched. There's been a death in Peoria. I mean, it is the way life is, and life ends. So they're there to support a grieving family at this point. And Dennis Pooler, have you been here the longest now? I think he's one. He's first class, but he was with the second class that we've ever had in Glendale. A lot of you know Angela, and she volunteers for numerous things in Glendale, and especially the fire department. She is certainly part of the family, and has helped us tremendously with paperwork and everything, so there's a lot of ways to volunteer. This is Jennifer Zwabel, and did you bring a puppy too? Or did you bring your pig? No, I bring They do have a potbelly pig, but she didn't bring it. Jennifer's with us. She's actually on leave because she's going to have a baby. And there's not a lot of pregnant people on the van. In fact, there's none. And you know Chuck now, and I didn't hear you tell the story. Chuck retired, and Fran, his wife, said, you need to get busy, you need to volunteer for something. So she made him fill out an application. He got accepted in the program and went through all the training, and we got him because Fran said this would be a good fit for him. And she knew it well, and then we finally got her too. And she teaches out at GCC, so anybody who takes any EMS classes or anything to do with the medic program, EMT, you would know her if she looks familiar. Here we have Sarah and her son Andrew. We've all adopted Andrew as well. And I don't know where her husband went. Her husband there's Fred. He is a retired Phoenix firefighter, but we do not hold that against him. And this is Diane. She's got a little bit different colored shirt because she's one of our newest trainees. And when you first come into the program, you get this maroon shirt. We give that to you, and you wear that until you're completely done with your training and a little review period. And then you earn the green shirt because we want the firefighters to know that some people are in training. And there's Jamie. Jamie Chester, come on down. She is just getting on shift. Her shift will run from 8 tonight till 8 tomorrow morning, and she will get up at all hours of the night anytime she's dispatched out. There's one more thing that I would like to bring back Chief Papa for. This is the man, and I don't know how much he told you. I was running around back there, and I apologize. But he's the man that helped start this program. Chief Burdick wanted this program. Chief Pompa used to teach the CR volunteers in Phoenix before Glendale had this program. And he and the chief put this thing together and got Lynette, our division manager, over and got her over from volunteering at some other city. And we got her, and she's just picking up her son tonight. He was over on an exchange program in Ireland with another boy with the school district. So it's kind of fun. So I'm subbing for her. And I'm going to bring Chief Pompa out here because he actually created this Fido bag. And it's an important bag, and I want you to know that it's out there, and it's on your fire trucks, and they have actually used this bag. And I'm going to let him explain what's in it and what they do with it.
one of the things that we did about a year and a half, 2 years ago, was we identified that 80% of the population, at least in the United States, have a pet of some sort, cat, dog, whatever. So we came up with a process that we called it the Fido bag. This is now a bag that actually has been copyrighted and patented. And what it does is when we walk into a medical emergency for human beings, we take quite a bit of tools in with us. And one of the things that this Fido bag has, and most of the time what we were finding out was cats and dogs in fire situations were suffering from smoke inhalation, and we have documented incidents where firefighters were actually doing, instead of mouth to mouth, they were doing mouth to snout and actually reviving and resuscitating cats and dogs. So we built this Fido bag because it's part of that extension of service delivery, and we realize that your cats, your pets are family members, and we put this bag together, minimal cost, but we carry this on the fire trucks. So we take this with us on every fire, and believe it or not, it gets used regularly. When our cats and our dogs and our pets are suffering, we're able to give them oxygen. We have burn sheets in here. We see animals that have been burned in fires. Everything that we would do for a human, short of starting an IV, is what we do for our pets. So yet again, we care about your pets, we care about you. Another extension to the service delivery of the Glendale Fire Department. We're certainly happy to have this. The West Valley Animal Shelter was the one that donated $4,000 to make these Fido bags happen. So again, thank you so very much for coming tonight, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay cool.
Okay, are we ready for a doggone good time? Many, many thanks for coming out for the first portion of tonight, which was our crisis response presentation. A hand again for all of our wonderful volunteers and their pets. And a very quick thank you to Linda Moran Whitley from Papa Ed's Ice Cream, who is the chairperson of the event tonight and has worked so hard. Who let the dogs out? Linda did. What we're going to do now is assemble and head on over to the Glendale Visitor Center. I guess I never introduced myself. My name is Lorraine Pino, and I manage the Glendale Visitor Center, and we are so thrilled to have you all here tonight. We're going to do a pet parade, and once you're over there, you will get the map for tonight, which shows where you can get your aura photo, your frosty paws, your pet massages. We actually have massages for four-legged and two-legged, and we're all ready for a massage just about now, aren't we? So lots of cool happenings in downtown Glendale tonight, and we will see you over at the Glendale Visitor Center. Thank you for coming.
It's a wrap.